All right, everybody, it's been about 10 days since we put a video up, so I just wanted to get one out before the Thanksgiving holiday. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Today, what I really quickly wanted to talk about is risk assessment. Literally, these ideas come to me when I'm about to go to bed, keeping me up for a little bit of time, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the dynamic that we deal with when we're talking about borrower mindset versus investor mindset. I think it's important as a borrower, whether you're new or experienced, to understand how an investor looks at a deal in comparison to the way that you do. So, if you don't know, my name is Corey Siegel with S&L Capital Group. As the CEO of S&L Capital Group, my responsibility is to work with borrowers and clients who are borrowing money from us. They're buying properties, they're refinancing their investments, they are taking a look at borrowing the money, using that for their investment, and maximizing the leverage as much as possible in the smartest way. My business partner, Brad Lattisaw, who's the CFO, he handles the investor capital. He's the one who raises new capital, goes out and works with our investors, takes the deals that I work with the clients on, and puts them in front of our investors to get the capital that's needed for that transaction. It's a very interesting dynamic in how clients and investors look at a deal differently. We'll take a look at that really quickly here. So as a borrower, it's important to understand this because I think whether you're borrowing money from S&L Capital Group or you're going out to private lenders to raise capital, understanding what the way that the investor is looking at the deal is going to help you attract more money. So with that being said, let me adjust this really quick. What you want to think of is not necessarily the slam dunk deal or the no-brainer. When a client calls me and tells me that, or a broker that I'm working with and says, hey, there's nothing to this deal, it's just going to be X and Y, to me, my red flags go up. They just typically go, okay, what is really going on with this deal? Because if it was that much of a slam dunk, why is it still available? So what you want to do is understand the downside risk or the perceived risk of the deal. The investor is going to be more conservative. The borrower is going to be more optimistic. Understanding each side of the equation is very important. So when a borrower calls me, they're going to tell me, hey, I'm going to buy this property at X and I'm going to sell it at Y. We have price on this axis. We have time on this axis, okay? When a client and I talk about it, they're pretty much drawing a straight line from here to here. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take me 3 to 6 months, and in 3 to 6 months, I'm going to finish my project and sell it. What an investor looks at is drastically different, and as a borrower, if you can understand this and really explain yourselves and be able to present your project in a fashion that takes into account the risk, you're going to have more opportunities to make money, more opportunities to borrow from private lenders and raise capital. So let me explain. As a borrower, whether you're new or experienced, when you first get into a project, what do you normally do? You normally go into demo. You normally are taking out things from the property. You become making the property a shell of itself. What does that do to value? Well, that does to value this. It goes down like here, okay? So let's see these are weeks or months or however you want to do it. But your value of the property starts here, let's say $400,000, and it goes down. However much it goes down depends on your scope of work, depends on how much you're planning on doing, and depends really on how much money you're putting into the project, okay? But here's where the downside risk happens. Here's the perceived risk of the transaction. Over the next couple of weeks, maybe you're continuously demoing or you're starting to put project pieces and materials back together. Your value may stay flat or it may increase just a little bit. Important to understand that. You have time going by, okay? As you continue to go through, now you're starting to put things back together, but it's really not a house. You don't have your kitchen in, you don't have your cabinets, you don't have your bathrooms. You're starting to get to that point, but you're not there. When you get your finishes going, that's when you see an increase in your value. That's when you start seeing a vertical increase in value, and here's where the asset protection comes in. So as a borrower, whether you're new or experienced, what you want to do is protect yourself against this spot. Why do our investors like to see clients have skin in the game, and we don't necessarily want to finance 100% of the project? It's to protect against this. If things are to go bad when the project is in this point or in this phase, if you have skin in the game, your incentive to finish the project is still there. If you don't, yes, everybody wants to make money, but it's easy to walk away from it. So as a client, when I'm talking to my clients or I'm talking to brokers, what I want to attack with them on the submission process is how do we get through this point? How do we understand what the timeline's going to look like, where you're going to be in the process, and making sure that we can, in fact, get from here to here, but we can protect ourselves from here. And if you can understand that and you can explain to your broker, to your lender, to investors, that the downside risk is manageable, you're going to find out that a lot of private lenders are going to want to lend you money. Corey Siegel signing off from S&L Capital Group. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. We love all of you guys. We look forward to working with you. Call us today. I can take you through this process in presenting your deal to either us or even somebody else. We're here to be a resource. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.